Hello and welcome to the TST Podgecast, your one-stop shop for all things Vibes TCG news related and more. I am the Mudman here with my friend Cautionfun. Caution, how you going?
Doing well, Mudman. How are you?
I'm doing great, just enjoying the vibes.
Same, dude. Same. Yeah. Professor, unfortunately, can't join us for this episode. So if the production value seems a little lower, now you know why. Uh, you know.
Yep, so if you don't like the production of this episode, hop into the professor's DMs and ask him what's up.
Yeah. Ask him when he'll be back. We miss him too, so definitely be good to know. But yeah, I mean, we had another month of stuff to cover.
Yeah, not a ton of Vibes news, but still a bunch of cool topics and cool stuff coming out in the future that we can speculate on and discuss.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got opinions, and I'm ready to share them with the Vibes community. Yeah, you're right, though. It has been a little slower than usual as far as tangible developments go. We're not without them, though. First and foremost, at the start of this month, we had our Season 0 Pengu rewards go out. As you can see there, 165 dummy thickers qualified for Pengu rewards and split a pool of 3.8 million Pengu tokens. Pretty cool. Did you get yours?
Oh, yeah.
I got mine. I appreciated it. Did you?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to put it right back into the Pengu ecosystem.
I already have. Funny enough there. Yeah, very grateful for it, very appreciative. And, you're allowed to buy gems, one of the in-game currencies there, with crypto. And I immediately put some of my Pengu rewards towards gems so I could get some of the new promos that we've had slowly dripping out this month. Did you pick up any of those?
I have not picked up any of the new promo cards yet. There are a bunch of new promos coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I like some more than others.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm real excited for the inspiring story. I'm real excited for the too much caffeine.
Not Your Keys is some great art.
Oh, Not Your
well.
Keys is also really, really good looking. Also like a great card that you like want to have. I'm not super stoked on like Serene Penguin.
Yes, that is the current one, I believe, in store. Things started out with the Daydreaming Penguin there. Beautiful card. I picked up a couple of those for sure. Next was the Ascending Penguin promos, correct? Yeah, I had to pick up two of those just because it's so darn playable.
Yeah, see, I have the exact opposite opinion for Daydreaming Penguin and Ascending Penguin. I really like the card art for both of those cards.
Fair.
So I didn't feel obligated to pick up the alternate arts. And especially for Ascending Penguin, because I've been lucky enough to get like so many groovies. Like my versions are just nicer than the promo, in my opinion.
It is hard to one-up the Ascending Penguin base artwork.
Yeah, I really like that one.
The groovy foil does go super hard. I have two groovies in game, so I did only pick up two of the promo copies. But it makes a heck of a play set. I guess if I had four groovy foils, I probably wouldn't have gotten any of those. That's fair. Now we got Serene Penguin. We got all the ones you mentioned coming. I figure you'll pick up some Too Much Caffeines.
Yeah, Too Much Caffeines and inspiring stories seem worthwhile.
Yeah, the art's great on the Too Much Caffeine too. The promo art. Not sure who the artist is behind these, but they all feature the generic Pengu penguin. A lot of clouds, and I really like them. No reason not to. If you're gonna just just have alternate arts in rotation. We're not obligated to purchase them, but it's cool to have the option.
Yeah, like I may prefer the original Ascending Penguin artwork, but I'm very much for the idea of alternate arts that you can buy.
100%.
Especially in this like early stage of the game, right? Like if you want Ascending Penguin and you don't have it, like that is a way you can actually get it.
Yeah, no,
and there's really no way to get a card that you want.
No, that's
I've tried. I put in money. I did not get one twist.
That's right. Although I did purchase some of those epic packs that they have available in the store because the only epic that I was missing was a yellow mega penguin. So in very niche scenarios, you can. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
100%.
After enough grinding, you can put in money and get a decent chance of getting what you want.
Yep. After a bunch of Pack-a-Paloozas, and absolutely. I just I love the way my collection's building out too. They've also done a great job of just giving out promos for participation trophies essentially, and anytime I have the chance to include one, I'm going to. We also, as far as Season 0 rewards go, we got those playmats. Should be shipped out at least relatively soon. We got a nice little spoiler on the OCAP Games Twitter account. little preview of the season 0 playmats. They look super clean. They're clearly hand rolled by Claire, so that adds some sentimental value. No,
Is that Claire in the picture? I don't think so.
Professor and I were talking about it, and we were about 99% sure, but maybe the team can confirm that for us or not. Yeah, that said, it looks like there's a ton of them. I wouldn't be shocked if it was like a bit of a logistical nightmare to get all of these shipped out all over the world. Definitely, and have everybody kind of receive theirs at a similar time.
Well, like, not only is it like sending things all over the world, like Spencer emailed everyone being like, please give me your address.
Yeah.
So like you have to respond.
Yep.
And then like it's just Spencer's email, right? So there's nothing like automated about it. So like I sent my information like 26 hours after the announcement. I assume he got it.
I hope so.
I don't expect him to reply to everyone saying like, got ya. I'm not expecting like a tracking number or anything. It's definitely going to be difficult.
Yeah, for sure. 165 people spread across the world. Yeah, that said, super looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get mine.
I've already been thinking about it. You have any plans for yours? Are you going to use it? Or I'm thinking about framing mine.
Yeah, I think like using it as a display piece is the move. I know when we were in New York City for that like mock tournament thing, I think it was either Spencer or Roland who said like it would be like a sick flex to bring that playmat to a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fair.
And since I want to be their friend, I'm gonna do the thing they suggest, but then I'll display it.
Super fair. Yeah, game used at that point, so could add some sentimental value to it. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm super stoked on that. I'm also very stoked to receive my Sketch Baron. No word on those, whether or not they've been delivered or when they will be sent out. But yeah, I figured between the playmat and the Baron and maybe any other kind of promo cards that we can pick up. Our trophy cards from the HQ tourney. Mm-hmm. Maybe some trophy cards from events we got coming up. I think that could come together into a really cool display piece. So that's my idea.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe they're gonna do more like of these like playmat style things. Maybe season 1 Dummy Thick winners also get a playmat. If I was them, I wouldn't want to do this again. I haven't done it. I imagine it's been miserable. But if I was them, I wouldn't want to send physical things again every season. But maybe they had fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd love more playmats.
Honestly, I was really shocked when they announced that there would be physical receivables for
earning something.
Yeah, in the digital game.
Yeah, anything physical that I earn, I will appreciate greatly.
100%. Yeah, and it's a classic example of something that they didn't have to do, but I know I appreciate it. I know every single other person I've talked to about it really appreciates it. And, hey, that's just a further incentive for more players to grind in future seasons. You want to get these cool rewards, get to Dummy Thick and play.
Oh, 100%. Like in season 0, right, we didn't know about like the sketch barons and stuff.
100%.
And like as we were getting like to the tail end of the season, like I knew I had no chance of getting top 8. So I started playing significantly less and just focused more on like helping like you and Bonk play. Right? And way less effort into actually playing the game. If I knew getting top 16 would get me a sketch baron, I would not have stopped.
That's super fair, yeah. And it's reasonable to assume that, top 16 going forward. They said there would be 64 of them, no?
Yeah, which the math adds up.
That math adds up. 100%. Yeah. No, I'm so stoked on that. Thankful for what I've already received and looking forward to what I have yet to receive. So yeah, hey, handling that logistical nightmare might be a bit of the reason that we haven't seen as many in-game developments this month outside of bug fixes and those promo cards. But another big reason that we've heard a lot about from the team about is they've been heads down focusing on set 2, Legend of the Lils, scheduled to release in the second half of this year, Q3, Q4, 2025. I saw a recent tweet from the OCAP Games Twitter account that said we should expect spoiler season soon, or they were at least trying to get us hyped up about spoiler season starting soon.
I'm hyped up.
I was already hyped up. And then that tweet just made it all the more real. I already have I have Overpass IP bot on like notifications on my Twitter account there. Because I did submit my Lil for licensing for the next set, and just checking it every day, seeing if they've made any announcements. That would be the coolest thing ever. If I could like point to a card and be like, oh, that's mine. But yeah, I'm so excited to see, any kind of new mechanics that we may come into. I'm also just excited to see Lil Pudgies on the cards themselves. I mean, it's
I think that'll be cool. The new mechanics, they said dual colors.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. I'm excited to see like how that plays out, right? Like if it's like a yellow blue card, right? When I flop it, am I picking between blue or yellow Pudge, or is it like this is a yellow blue card that only produces yellow, or is there a circumstance that makes it produce things? Is it just produce like a blue yellow Pudge that functions for either? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that bit about multicolor cards coming, I was thinking they would probably be actions and like demand multiple colors of Pudge. But you're totally right. There could be penguins that produce multiple colors of Pudge. Maybe there's like circumstantial things where it's like you can't play this blue penguin unless you have a yellow penguin.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That kind of thing. Whole bunch.
Yeah, but then also like certain interactions, right? Like if a penguin is if a penguin is green and any other color, right? Can I target that with Cleanup Good? Because Cleanup Good says target a green penguin. If it's green and is that green enough for you?
Is it or is it yet also? Yeah, that's a good question. Chock full of them. I'm so excited for spoiler seasons. We're going to get answers to all those questions and a lot more. And yeah, Spencer has already been in the Dummy Thick Discord channels, giving us some insights into, I guess, not really how far along they are,
design philosophy,
other than
stuff like that.
They confirmed that they are on schedule, which is always reaffirming to hear. But been giving us some insight as far as their design philosophy is concerned. Things that they have to consider that maybe the community doesn't consider when you're thinking about creating a new set for a trading card game that's not just trying to be a physical tabletop trading card game, but also has a digital component to it. I have a screenshot here of a bit of that Spencer was sharing with us in the Discord, and I'm just going to read it verbatim. Spencer seems like a guy that chooses his words very carefully, so I don't want to paraphrase here or anything. So I'm going to start about halfway down here. He shared with us, he said, in Enter the Huddle, our dev team had very limited input on the card functions, and we had no idea how our game engine worked because it hadn't been built yet. Now we are working closely with our tech team to allocate our digital complexity chips, meaning every card goes through a determination of, is this card worth its digital complexity? And he gave us an example. He says, an example is the card Questionable Methods. This is the worst kind of card. There's a ton of unique situations that only come up with that card, and it's also not a very played card. So that was not a card that was worth its complexity points. We've avoided mistakes like that in the new set, or at least we've made much more of an active effort to do so. One complexity chip that is worth it for the new set, for example, is that in-game we currently don't have the ability to intentionally use a fishsicle instead of a rod for fish when playing a penguin, because there's literally 0 scenarios in Enter the Huddle where you'd want to do that. But in Legend of the Lils, there is sometimes scenarios where you'd want to. This requires new UX, and new UX is the riskiest stuff, but that's complexity that's worthwhile. I thought that was like that's end quote. I thought that was a really interesting bit of insight there. And also, yeah, we got some fresh material to speculate on at the end there. What do you think?
I think all that is cool, but real quick, pop quiz.
Sure.
Questionable Methods. What does it do? Is it an action? Is it a penguin? What color is it? Do you have any idea what this card is?
It's blue. It's not one penguin. It's actually 3 penguins in a trench coat. I forget the cost and the exact ability, but it has something to do. It's a blue card as well, and it has something to do with you choose an action in your opponent's ice, and you can play that action for the rest of the turn, but you have to have that color Pudge in order to do so, or maybe it's you can spend any color Pudge. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it's kind of like Prosperous Penguin, but it deals with actions that don't necessarily exist in your deck, and exist in your opponent's ice.
Yeah, I would describe that as the worst kind of card.
Fair play. I mean, it might have its applications in game, but I totally get what Spencer's getting at. Like, they definitely, it's the only card that results in those scenarios. So the client has to be able to handle those scenarios. But that's work. That's work that the dev team has to put in to support that ability, and it's only for one card that doesn't see much play.
Yes.
So yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze there. But the example he gave, introducing some kind of mechanic where you may want to spend a physical you've generated instead of a rod.
That's cool.
That opens up a whole. I mean, the first application that I thought of with that was maybe a penguin, something like a 3 fish, 2 vibe penguin that when it enters the huddle, it gets +1 vibe for each unflopped rod that you have. So if you had fishsicles to be able to summon that penguin, you would obviously want to use those, right? I don't know if you thought of any ideas.
Well, yeah, there's like so many things, right? There could be like a low cost penguin with like really high vibe, and the downside is you can only play it if like you have 1 rod unflopped when it's put in play, right? Something like that. Maybe it's a blue card that says, like flop this, mill cards in your opponent's deck equal to your unflopped rods.
Yeah, right. You're right. Anything like that really brings in the amount of unflopped rods you have.
Yeah, or like even like a purple thing that says like, play this card, ice a rod you control that's unflopped.
Yeah. So like, I mean, already we've thought of like 5-6 examples of cards that could use that functionality.
And those are pretty baseline. That's just how many unflopped rods do you have. It could be way more complex.
Absolutely, yeah. Either way, coding in the ability to use fishicles instead of rods, like, yeah, I mean, it opens, a whole scope of potential cards that you can make.
It could be like a new style of action card that requires you to flop rods, but not fishicles.
Yeah, no, that's super fair. Yeah, definitely worth it. I thought it was a great example, and just generally, I thought that was a really neat bit of insight. Something that I tell myself I try to consider, but it's impossible to like really know everything the team has to consider when creating a new card.
Well, yeah, like it's no secret that like we don't know how the client works.
Yeah, it's super fair, 100%. I thought that was neat, and shortly after this, that is when we got confirmation. There will be multicolor cards in the new set. No specific examples, obviously. We'll have to wait until spoiler season starts. We also got confirmation that there will be more cards that have the ability to interact with relics.
Yep.
Which I think,
isn't necessary.
Yeah, general consensus is much needed for sure. I do think they have to be a little careful on that front. You don't want to introduce too many solutions to relics. To where relics get pushed into a spot where they're no longer worth running. But yeah, I definitely having the option would be helpful.
Yeah, they gotta do some math, figure out like what the base relic's like value is 4 pudge a reasonable amount to destroy a relic?
Yeah, it's a tough one too, because it's we have literally the whole spectrum. We have a 1 fish relic and we have 15. A 15 fish relic. So you're right. The 15
fish relic is unique in the sense that like the only relic tech card that exists now, and like I'm putting tech cards in quotes because it's not a tech card, it doesn't work. But a Dummy Thick Disco Ball is like the only card that hit the high note can like possibly affect, because if you're playing Dummy Thick Disco Ball, you probably did it with fishsicles, which means if it's bounced back to your hand, they probably can't replay it.
Yeah, in theory, right? Yeah, it would be interesting too. And yeah, if you stick that relic interaction ability, if you stick it on a penguin, how does that affect Silent Snow Globe and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. It'll be really interesting to see what they do there, whether they make it neutral or whether they silo it to other colors. It's kind of only.
Yeah, they're going to be a series of actions. They're going to be a neutral penguin that just says like, "Hey, no more relics."
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure there will be a couple of different options all along the spectrum. I'm just excited to see how the new set shakes up the meta. Are there any particular mechanics that you would personally like to see introduced in the next set?
I trust the team's gonna come up with cool things. I know Spencer came into the Dummy Thick Discord and said like, hey, they're like 99% done with the set, but there's a few cards they haven't come up with yet. Like, this is a great opportunity to give, your thoughts. Like, personally, I think a cool idea would be like a penguin that affects adjacent penguins. So it's like the penguin directly to the left of this penguin gets +2 vibe. The penguin directly to the right of this penguin gets +2 vibes, right? Like, that's like the most simplest iteration. But in that scenario, if the penguin to the right is vibing the most and you not your keys it, then there's going to be a new penguin to the right, and maybe that one's vibing the most. And it puts you in a position where you like really want to put like this penguin like one away from that penguin to play around something. Maybe you got him your own penguin to put something next to a penguin that you really want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, making the location of your penguins on board matter would be a whole new dimension of complexity.
I like when card games do that.
100%. Yeah, I've always enjoyed that. And we do kind of have an example of that in the rod department now with Bounce House Rod. You might want to move one of your rods all the way to the left so you can spend it and then pick it back up. But I mean, as far as we know, right, you can't move penguins around once they've been placed.
No.
I
tested that earlier today.
Gotcha, perfect. So that would be really interesting, adding a new layer of decision making every time you go to play a penguin would
and like it wouldn't have to be something as similar as like +2 vibe. It could be something more dynamic, like the penguin, your leftmost penguin can't be affected by actions, like something like that.
Yeah, no, I'd be all for that. That would be a really interesting introduction to the game for sure. I saw a couple people in the Dummy Thick channel ask for some type of banish or exile effect that removes a penguin from the game completely. I think that's entirely an ask for more responses to Bunkus, because right now, I mean, the removal we have in game, it affects it for one turn at most outside of like Snow Globe.
And like there's not a lot of playing around Bunkus. Like Snow Globe is the best way to play around it, but Snow Globe has a huge detriment.
100%.
It could just be, it's just a lose condition against pretty much all other archetypes, especially if they can full board clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Bunkus runs a Bashful Swordsman, which
is like
takes heavy advantage of that. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think I think that would be a welcome addition for people that are having trouble dealing with Bunkus right now.
Yeah, but in that same vein, if they're doing more relic interaction cards, like red can bounce relics, red can bounce Silent Snow Globe and make good use out of it. But maybe other colors can bounce Silent Snow Globe, and it can be like a decent tech against Bunkus if you can manipulate it more.
Yeah, if you could bounce it back for your own sake.
Yeah, or even destroy it for your own sake.
Yeah,
because like if you're playing it against yellow, like it stops Buddy Up, but if they yum you, you lose on the spot.
True. 100%. Yeah, all great thoughts. On a related note, I saw people asking for more forms of hand disruption. I think that would be interesting. Right now, I think the only thing we have is Keep Digging, correct? And that's limited in its applications, and it can even be countered in that same action stack.
Maybe just like more counter style cards, more Spring of Leaks for more colors.
Yeah, I mean that could be cool for sure. It's kind of siloed to just blue and green right now.
Yeah, and greens is nowhere near as good as blues.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too upset about that. I think hand disruption is definitely something they have to be careful with, though. In Vibes specifically. With just the nature of the game, the main win condition,
permanents.
Being 15 permanents, the ability to remove one of your opponent's resources from their hand is
a really big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So it would probably have to be like negative value, like net negative value, or like net neutral at best,
or hyper specific, like Keep Digging.
Yeah.
Right, so it can't just be like
that's neutral at best, though, right? Yeah. It's 1 for 1.
Yeah, it's 1 for 1. Yeah, exactly.
And absolutely, something along those lines. Maybe something that forces things out even would be like a welcome addition.
Or just discard. Look at your opponent's hand, discard a card, they draw a card. Just so like they don't lose the permanent, but they lose the important thing.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be -1 value, but a form of hand disruption, something like that. Absolutely.
Like if you were going to lose to a Yum, you would let your opponent draw a card to get rid of the Yum. That seems like a fair trade to me.
I think so. 100%, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's so many different ways that could go about that, and a bunch of different applications, too. Yeah, I think that I think that would be a welcome addition as well, honestly. But yeah, they would have to be careful with it. Caution before fun.
Here's another question: will we get more saucy actions in Journey of the Littles or
Legend of the
Little
Lils.
Fudge?
Yeah, that would be that'd be another one. I wouldn't be too upset about that. I think saucy actions are a really cool mechanic. You know, and I also expect to see maybe right now only red really has you know, actions that have or cards in general that have the condition of, you know, playing a specific color action. I think if they introduce that kind of mechanic to other colors, it might see you know, some of the lesser played saucy actions like sick pull, cool story, bro. You know, if there's a card that demands you play a blue action before it, all of a sudden cool story, bro becomes a lot more relevant.
Yeah.
You know, that applies to every saucy action of every color. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're already seeing What a Twist and Gotham become pretty standard in a really wide range of decks.
Yeah, even like Not a Rod Anymore is showing up in more than just Bizbunk.
100%.
I've been seeing so many yellow decks play Not a Rod Anymore.
Yeah, probably as a counter to more and more people running Gotham. But yeah, no, they introduce a you know, a level of dynamicism that I definitely appreciate, because yeah, you could see your opponent have 0 cards in hand. You can see what they have presented on board, but you have to account for those saucy actions. Yeah, it's you know, it's what a good game. I enjoy it. Yeah, I did see I saw one fella.
Yeah, not everyone's enjoying the game though. Some people want it to change radically.
Mudman and I were having a laugh about this before we sat down to record here. There's a fella in the Discord who was asking for more RNG elements to be introduced. And I mean, I'm just thankful we weren't the only ones in disagreement. You know, personally, I think trading card games have plenty of RNG, just you know, by nature.
Yep.
You know, you don't choose
because of the deck.
The whole drawing thing, and you know, and especially with, you know, if you win a vibe check,
yeah,
you know, there's, you know, people get it.
There's plenty of RNG. That being said, if you agree and you think that Vibes should pivot and become Uno, but with penguins, voice your opinions in the Discord. I personally think nobody wants it to turn into Uno, but I think I'd love to see
Monopoly.
Yeah, or Monopoly deals or whatever. But if you think that hard pivoting into like Go Fish or something is a cool idea, I'd love to see if this is an argument that holds weight.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, take none of our opinions as gospel. If you disagree with us, please let us know in the comments section there.
Personally, I hope they treat it like a trading card game.
Me too.
As opposed to like a board game.
Yeah.
Like a family board game. Candyland, I've played Candyland.
How'd you like it?
I don't love it.
That's super fair. Did you catch the Candyland Championships this past week?
No, they don't have them because nobody wants to see them.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. Don't want to be mean, but yeah, no, I thought it was very funny. Yeah, just adding more like coin flip effects. You know, it seems like a really solid way to ruin the competitive experience, in my humble opinion.
If the goal is break more keyboards, then these are great things. If the goal is like more people in Discord like so angry, threatening uninstalls, then like this is a great play. But if you want the game to be less competitive, if maybe the team's like, we hate this Hartford stuff.
Yeah.
If they decide everything they like, they now don't like,
yeah.
then we can hard pivot.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. On that note, just anecdotal evidence for sure. But since the season 0 Pengu rewards went out, and since the team has accompanied Star City Games around the Americas on their Star City Games convention tour, the team's been holding Learn to Play events at all of these SCG cons. And since they've started doing that, and since the Season 0 Pengu rewards went out, I have noticed a distinct lack of financially motivated people, not just in the Vibes Discord, but also in the TST Discord. Link in the description. If you're not in there already, you should be. I've seen a bit of like an exodus of, those, the quote unquote farmers. And that said, at the very same time, I've seen a huge influx of professional Magic the Gathering players, professional Lorcana players, people coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, people coming from Hearthstone, all coming in to replace those farmer folk and have nothing but laudatory things to say about the game.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. It is. They draw you in with the cute penguins. That's the pudgy thesis.
And to keep you with the vibes.
But yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I know the first day we ever got to play, we played a couple of games, 1v1, and we went right into 1v1v1 games with our third buddy there, and just had a blast the entire time as we were just learning the basic mechanics.
Yeah, I remember when I left that, I think I told like all the employees that were there that I had like a lot more fun than I expected.
Yeah.
When I heard there was no combat element to the game, I was like, this probably isn't going to be fun.
Super fair, yeah. And then I had the exact opposite feeling when I learned the resource system. I was like, okay, hold on a minute. This is interesting. There's layers to this. And here we are, how many months later? And like, I am definitely still learning things about the game. I'm still, there's still just so many aspects to improve on. The iceberg runs deep.
Yes.
Pun fully intended. Easy to play, difficult to master comes to mind. I think we should definitely stick with that direction because, for early stages, it's going like as well as I feel like I could imagine it would. And once we get the competitive circuit kicking,
and figure it out because there hasn't been like a proper tournament.
True. Yeah, we've had a couple of mock tournaments. The one you and I attended last month. There was another one this past month, just 3 or 4 days ago, which unfortunately we couldn't attend this time around. But the team's definitely honing it in. I expect them to run relatively smoothly. And on that exact note, we have a first here on the TST Podgecast. We have a TST Podgecast exclusive announcement.
Sure.
Very exciting announcement regarding local competitive play. On Saturday, April 19th at Top Deck Games in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It's apparently the largest local game store in New Jersey. I did not know that. There will be an in-person Vibes tournament. And it's going to be a $35 entry fee. They have a $1,000 prize pool guaranteed, sponsored in part by Cardi.io.
And that's all store credit, so I'm hoping they have Vibes cards there.
They do indeed. In fact, I called them a couple of weeks ago. I was trying to trade in some of my sealed Pokemon collection for more Vibes stuff. And yes, I can confirm they carry the starter deck kits and they have booster boxes. So, definitely we'll be putting any earnings right back into Vibes. Same thing we did with the Season 0 rewards, right? And just real quick, shouts to the sponsor there, Cardi.io. I did my homework here. They seem to be a service that helps game production companies manage, host, and track organized events and tournaments. So I expect that we'll be using them on Saturday, April 19th. You'll be there, right?
Yep.
I'm certainly planning on going. It's right in our backyard there. If anybody's in the tri-state area and feels like throwing down on some Vibes for a $1,000 prize pool, again, that's Saturday, April 19th at Top Deck Games in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We'll put a link to their website in the description below. You can get a little teaser taste here. I assume that's where we'll be playing.
They got everything. They got tables, chairs, little TV, bookshelf.
And a bunch of products, it looks like. I'm very excited. Big shouts to Roland and the team for putting this together. At the very least, this should be a really good warm-up for the Hartford Regional in May there. It's almost exactly like 1 month before it, right?
Pretty much.
You have any idea what you're going to bring to this tournament?
No idea.
Me neither.
I'm going to have to, scour through eBay to get my decks together.
Oh, I'm sure I can help you out there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I don't know. Like, it's interesting. Like, part of me wants to just play Sneaky Penguin so I can see if I can remember to use it.
Yeah, that was a problem we both had at the HQ tournament.
It was impossible. Every I think I used Sneaky Penguin once. I think I played it. I must have played it every single game. We were on the train to the tournament. We were talking about how we're so excited to play 2 Sneaky Penguins and finally get a taste of how it feels. it's impossible to remember to use the Sneaky Penguin.
100%. You end the turn, you go, okay, now I draw.
And then you go, damn it.
And then you go, I forgot the sorry, yeah. And then you got to live with it. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. It's so much harder when the things aren't automated and when like your cards aren't glowing when they're applicable.
They got to figure out a way to make them glow.
Maybe in the next set, that would be pretty cool.
Also, like my green Mega Penguin, I never remembered if I put the 1 vibe counter on it, and I know there were multiple turns where I didn't put the vibe counter on it, but then you're going to be like, hey, opponent, you mind if I put 2 on it because I forgot?
Right? And like, yeah, and then also, like, it's a bummer for your opponent because, like, if they notice, all of a sudden you're putting them in a spot to where it's like, oh, great, I have to make like a moral decision. Awesome. Like, do I tell him he missed his thing, or do I try to win the game, Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for all parties involved.
Always plead ignorance. That was Sneaky Penguin? What? What does that do?
Great gameplay. We'll have to practice that.
I don't think green Mega Penguin does that.
Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, definitely something to hash out before we're across the table with real stakes involved. Yeah, no, man, I'm so excited. I love it. Just the mock tournament that we went to at their HQ the last month there. It just got me so excited for IRL events.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Feeling very blessed that the first, I guess, like semi-official one is going to be held in our backyard there. I do wonder if, will there be championship points distributed at this event?
I doubt it. I think if there were championships distributed, the OCAP games would have tweeted about it.
Yeah, that's super fair. I haven't seen any public announcement from the team regarding this tournament there. That's why I called it a TST Podgecast exclusive. Please correct me in the comments if I'm mistaken. But yeah, hey, if you're listening there and it hasn't been announced yet, you got an early heads up. You can make your hotel accommodations for Cherry Hill, New Jersey, April 19th. And again, link in the description for Top Deck Games website. And we'll also put a link to the Hartford tournament in May there. If you haven't signed up and gotten your ticket already, You
can also sign up for side events. A bunch of side events opened up recently.
100%, yeah, I saw that. They're going to be... Apparently the convention is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Vibes is going to be hosting multiple events every single day of the convention. So yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, the earlier and earlier I want to get up to Hartford. But yeah, I mean, should be a blast. I'll participate in every one I can. And yeah, we'll put a link to the SCG Con website in the description as well, so you can get your ticket to Hartford if you haven't already.
Are there any specific side events that you think are the coolest or you're most excited for?
I saw a starter constructed event, which like you could only use the starter decks. I thought that was really interesting because, 2 of the starter decks are more expensive than the others. Red and blue are more expensive than green and yellow because they have more rares and an epic, whereas the green and yellow, I think they only have 2 rares, 1 of each copy.
Yep.
So, you would think like, oh, everybody's going to run the deck with more rares and the epic in it, but the more I think about it, the more I think they're shockingly balanced, and the yellow starter might just be the best one.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to see the deck distribution of that tournament. It does seem to be one of the lower stake ones. I believe the entry fee was like $10, and it's like only a couple of rounds, and the prizes is like you get like 1 pack of Vibes per round, win or lose. So I mean, it's a great introductory tournament for somebody just learning the game. Perfect side event to host on like Friday and Saturday, and then be like, if you liked that, come back for the main event on Sunday, if the tickets haven't sold out yet. But did you see any in particular you're excited for?
Yeah, I think the sealed version or like the draft format seems really interesting.
100%. I would love to know how that goes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes. It's just like I've never even thought about Vibes in a draft format. Like, there's definitely enough cards in a pack, right? But like, there's no way you could make like a yellow deck or any like monocolored deck. Like, you would have to. It would like in the draft format. Do you run actions at all, or actions just a waste?
That was my first thought when I started considering it. Was just
Can you play actions?
Yeah, like I feel like you're kind of limited at like 2 pudge cost, and like wizards up in value. Unlocking the ability for your deck to play actions would definitely be.
And then also
part and parcel.
opening actions.
Yeah, that too. 100%.
So I'm excited to see like how that plays out.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, we can run some tests. We just go to Greg's Games, get a booster box, and
See how that goes.
We can see how it goes. That'd be fun. That'd be content too.
Yeah, because like there's certainly gonna be cards that are like horrible in standard that would like be like very good in a draft format, right? Like a card like Mukbang Penguin, right?
Oh,
Horrible penguin to play by your own volition, right? Like you were saying before, like in a game where you need resources to win the game, a card that says, "Hey, don't draw a resource," is a huge bummer, right? But like in
Karate Penguin as well, yeah.
Yeah, but a Karate Penguin, especially like in a world where there's gonna be bad cards in my deck, Karate Penguin's great. I have plenty of horrible stuff to throw away, right? Like Mukbang Penguin's gonna win a vibe check, and who cares if I do or don't draw a card? My deck sucks.
Every card draw option, like Brainy Penguin, OP.
Brainy Penguin's nuts. Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I certainly haven't taken the time to think about each card in the context of a draft format. But I mean, yeah, it's like a fun little exercise, and there's definitely some big changes in card value.
And then there's like other stuff, like usually in like draft formats, like beat stick creatures are really good. But you can look at something like Shy Penguin, right? Shy Penguin might be really hard to pull off because like what are the likelihoods that you get a 0 or 1 cost penguin to go along with it?
Yeah, all fair. Very interesting. Oh man, I'm so stoked.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if it's gonna be hard to find on here, but oh no, yeah. There's some. You can even see some of the related side events that are being held at the SCG Con. There, it looks like they will all have some amount of entry fees, but the descriptions of the ones that I did read all. There's definitely going to be prizes, mostly comprised of Vibes packs. So,
yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking at the screen right now. You can see there's a parentheses after every Vibes game says double prizes. Flesh and Blood's not advertising double prizes.
Yeah, we don't even know if there's single prizes. I mean,
I heard Flesh and Blood players just get an air fryer if they win.
Shots fired. Oh man, that's tough, man. Yeah, I'm so stoked, man. The only reason I potentially maybe in like some dimensions wouldn't want to get to this tournament as quickly as possible would be if I was grinding the end of season 1. I know the regionals here do coincide with the end of season 1. Are you worried about that at all in any capacity? How's your season 1 journey going?
It's going okay. I'm
just doing okay.
I'm grinding for top 8. I'm not in top 8 yet. I'm pretty sure I'm number 16 as of this morning.
Interesting.
So I'm getting a sketch Baron if the season ends right now.
Oh.
So there's that.
We can try to verify that here. Let's see. Boom! Yeah, right 16. On the cusp. Yes. Let's go, dude. Yes. Nicely done.
Yeah, 16 currently. It's also important to remember that like top 8's not exactly top 8, right? Like if Top Hat Panda Magician stays there, then it's top 9.
Oh yeah, super fair. Absolutely. We have to consider some of these folks up here have already qualified for the World Championships. So yeah, next slot goes to the next available.
Yeah, but that being said, if I am in a position where I'm like rank 4, right, when like the Hartford Regional comes up, if my goal is to make it to the Worlds, make it to the big show, it might be more advantageous for me to just stay home and maintain my spot as opposed to trying to get top 8 at the Hartford tournament and get my spot that way, right? Like
100%. I faced a very similar situation at the end of season 0 there.
Yeah, no one bit you.
I know you're well aware of, and yeah, barely hung on. But yeah, that said, this season does seem a little bit less grindy than the previous season.
Wait, this has the ELO system
for sure, but who knows how it's going to shake out towards the end there. And on a semi-related note, who knows, what the optimal strategy will be now, let alone, at the end of the season here.
Yeah, because like last season, the last week or like the last 2 weeks was like a mad dash.
100%.
Everybody who was in the running for top 8 was playing as much as they possibly could, and it was extremely like fluctuant the entire time.
Yeah, very volatile. I certainly know that. Like we alluded to there, we played at the HQ tournament in February. It was the night before the end
Yeah,
of
we were only
season
gone
0.
for like 8 hours.
Yeah, and I took one night off of grinding, and I dropped from 2nd to 8th place by the next morning.
And then and then you had to fight to maintain the 8th spot.
Absolutely, yeah. It was way more stressful and sweaty than I thought it would be. I thought 2nd was plenty of a cushion, but man, almost lost it there. But yeah, I hope you don't face a similar situation there. I hope you can go into the Hartford tournament with a clear mind and clear eyes, clear heart, can't lose situation.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but by the time we get to Hartford, we should have a better understanding of the ELO system.
Hopefully,
through trial and error.
Yeah, I guess so. I think there is a budding community effort to, really nail down this ELO ranking system.
Not even nail down, just figure it out at all.
Yeah, piece anything
get
together.
any little clue.
I mean, honestly, if I had to, other than the farmers complaining about their Pingu rewards, really the only source of frustration that I've seen from members of the Vibes community recently is just the lack of insights as far as the ELO system is concerned. I know a lot of people want a lot of people want all the information. I know some people just, they want to know how certain specific aspects work, maybe have, more information publicly displayed on the leaderboard here. Because, I know I'm not necessarily grinding for top 8, but I mean, I know I've found it frustrating at times not knowing the distance between, me and the person above and below me there. I can't imagine what it must be like for you.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating not having any information public, right? Like for a bunch of reasons, right? Like they're like I've been calling them like glut numbers, right? Like for the last couple of days, rank 19 has been like a glut number where the evidently the ELO's ranking of like the person who was ranked 20 and the person who ranked 18 was like a very wide gap.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, right, you lose one game and you fall multiple ranks, or you win 2 or 3 games and you go up a rank. But at specifically rank 19, you could win 4 or 5 games and stay. You could lose 2 games and stay. Like it was a very wide margin at that rank. And like the week before that, like rank 13 was the same way, where you can get to rank 13 and win 5 games and stay there, right? Lose 1 game and stay there, and stuff like that. So like that's frustrating. And then the decay, I would say, is the decay existing isn't frustrating. Not knowing how the decay works is frustrating.
No,
right?
that's super fair.
Yeah, like one thing that stresses me out literally every single day is like I wake up and I think to myself like when was my last game yesterday? Because like if it is every 24 hours the decay happens, and I have to make sure like I start a game by 6 p.m. so I can finish before 6:30, because I think my last game yesterday was at 6:30, and I don't want to get like a loss for no reason or something like that. If there was like a timer ticking down.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. That's a really good point.
Or even if I could see my ELO, like, oh, I didn't play for 28 hours, and last time I logged in, I was 1350. Now when I logged in, I'm 1345. And I go, oh, I only lost 5 points. I can afford to take a day off. Right? Like something like that.
Yeah, no, that's super fair. Yeah, I hadn't really considered that. But yeah, that is the kind of thing that, you have to worry about every single day. And yeah, I didn't even think about keeping track of it.
Because like when one loss hurts as much as one loss does, because it's when you lose a game at a high rank, you lose hours of grinding. Or especially if you lose to like a non-dummy thick player, you might fall down 5 ranks and it might take you 6 hours to get back up those 5 ranks. So I don't want to be in a situation where I'm ranked 16 at the end of the month. I play 25 hours after my last game, and that brings me down to 6 to 17 or something like that. Like when losing hurts, you don't want to get a loss for no reason.
That is super fair, yeah. And like I mean, I've been trying to think about it from the team's perspective, because this is clearly a very conscious decision on their part to, not reveal what they've chosen not to reveal about it. And the best reasoning that I can think of is like, they think if people are aware of the system, they will do their best to game the system in some capacity, which obviously wouldn't be ideal. That means the system is gameable. So you wouldn't want that to be the case. But yeah, I think, another potential reason would be, you don't want players to, just be frustrated. You would rather have them, a little bit confused than like outright frustrated, maybe.
I think that's fair.
But the timer is a great example of something that's obviously inadvertently causing players stress and would certainly be alleviated by just, filling them in on how it works exactly.
Yeah, because the decay system is entirely necessary, right?
Yeah, you don't want people camping.
Or else you could like very easily game the system by just bracing the dummy thick in the beginning of the month before matchmaking is modified, and then just camping, right? If there was no decay, you just say, oh, I'm going to play the first day of season 2 or season 3 and just get to dummy thick, be number 1 and stay number 1. I'm gonna only play against bad players and then camp. Yeah. Or not bad players, but players with lower collections, or just players that wouldn't be at the upper echelon because of whatever reason.
For sure.
Or they'd be real easy to manipulate. So you need the decay feature to force them to keep playing.
100%. Yeah,
but it doesn't need to be a secret.
Yeah, it's super fair. Yeah. Generally, just in any kind of competition, I would generally advocate for full transparency. I think games are better when everybody is fully aware of all the rules.
Yeah, because like if you don't want the system to get gamed, but someone's going to figure it out, and then it's just less people gaming the system and getting more benefit from potentially gaming the system.
Exactly. That is my chief concern, is that somebody will be able to determine exactly how the time decay and how the ELO rating system works, and then all of a sudden that becomes privileged information that you can gain some kind of competitive advantage from. Whereas, if everybody knows everything, it's a level playing field. So yeah, just out of an abundance of caution, I would personally lean towards full transparency. That said, I know the team has their reasons. So, we'll see. Maybe somebody figures it out and makes it public. Maybe the team chooses to make it public, or certain aspects of it. Maybe by next month's episode, we'll have some updates and some more things to discuss about the ELO system there.
I'd love for the ELOs to be public, simply for the not just so I can know if I'm in a glut number, but just simply so when I have a hard fought game, I can see the number go up, right? Because
that is satisfying.
Right, because oftentimes you win a hard fought game, you don't go up a rank, but you take that big exhale, that was a tough one. I really played great on that one, and it'd be cool to see my number go up.
Yeah, for sure. Rather than just the wins, I understand that 100%.
Especially because I never remember how many wins I had.
Oh, that's super fair. Yeah, I do be checking almost every game just to see how beating a player of a certain rank or losing to a player of a certain rank affects my rank. That said, I really haven't been able to glean any amount of information from that. I'm not sure if the leaderboard is instantaneously updated, or if this is just a periodically updated display of information that they have on the back end. But I had a sequence just 2 or 3 days ago where I beat the number 4 or 5 ranked player at the time and the outright number 1 ranked player at the time, and I went up 1 rating spot. But then, the same day or the next day or whatever, I'll have a win over a player that I'll look them up and they're either at the lower ranks of dummy thick, or maybe even the one below dummy thick. And I'll move up 3 or 4 spots out of nowhere. And it's just, when I flip over to the leaderboard page, my expectations have been pretty different on average than what I actually end up seeing. So yeah, it would be nice to have the reassurance of but here's your number and it did go up.
Yeah, and you can see oh look, I beat the guy at number 1, I went up 30 points. Right, maybe you only went up a couple of spots because you hit one of those glut spots again, right? Maybe
for sure.
Maybe it is just anyone who's above you gives you 5 points, right? Maybe anyone below you gives you 3 points, right? We have no idea, but it definitely seems sometimes you beat someone of a really high rank, you don't move up that much, but sometimes you beat someone of a really high rank and you jump up 4 spots.
Yeah, for sure, and it's removing that bit of uncertainty and doubt from the equation, because quite frankly, I don't remember for the other top 5 game that I played, but I remember the game I played against the number 1 player. They conceded on the last turn during the action phase, and it was one of those games that I didn't get my gold rewards. And I also didn't move in the leaderboard. So like I'm left to question,
Yeah,
like,
did it count?
did it count? Did it change our ELO ratings, or did I just get +1 in the win column? And yeah, it would be nice to,
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could know for sure.
yeah, not have to worry about that at all, 100%. But yeah, I mean, hey, I guess we'll see. Onus is on the team, and yeah, in the meantime, we just try to win as many games as we can. No.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Everything that's happened and everything I'm excited for going forward. Anything else to add there?
No, I think that's about it. I'm excited for the next month. It's been a little while since we've had like an event, so I'm sure one is, on the cusp.
For sure, yeah. Maybe a Pack-a-Palooza,
Yeah,
maybe
maybe.
a Play Anything event. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Wouldn't mind that one bit. Either way. Everybody that's been listening, thank you so kindly. We appreciate it. Check out the previous episodes if you have any catching up to do. Join the TST Discord, link in the description below. And until next time, please take it easy.
Yep. Hope the vibes are good.